All right, so I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the teachers in our department in math are having trouble with students writing on the whiteboard and not in the way that you would like them to be engaged in class. So I want to show you, I know a lot of you are on Ultra, and unfortunately that doesn't have that option, but this is one of the reasons that we looked into getting Jigsaw and one of the benefits that we saw in this platform. So if you can get over the learning curve, this really does give you a lot more control with those tools. So first I want to show you is in your setup of your class, there are a couple of boxes you can check or uncheck to kind of control those tools in terms of what will be open to begin with. So if I click on a session, I'm going to choose the 2019-2020 Trig Pre-Calculus. I want to click on this blue edit session right here. And you can set all these things up as you're setting up the session, but if you didn't do it the way you wanted to begin with, you can always come back to edit and change that around. Okay, so the place we're going to look is not on page 1, but on page 2, the settings. So I'm going to click on the number 2 up here. And then a couple of things you might want to have set to go. The first is to allow only one microphone versus multiple microphones. This should ensure that when you're talking, other students aren't jumping in with their microphone and interrupting you. The other thing are these setting options over here on the left. Definitely you'll want to lock direct chat, right? You want them not talking to each other. You want them only in the group so that you can supervise what's going on. Now, if you have a reason to direct chat, you can supervise all of the direct chats as well if you do allow that. But you probably don't want that going on, while you're not paying attention or unless you intentionally do it. So the nice thing about these settings is a lot of them you can change once you're in the classroom as well. And you can also choose if you want to lock the group chat. Maybe you don't want to have that available at all until you're ready to have it available. Okay, so that's what you can do as you're setting up. Then once you join the session, you do have more tools. And they're in a couple of places. First is the overall tools, and in the upper right corner they call this the global menu next to the attendees title. You've got a lot of choices here. You can turn off everyone's mic. You can change it to allow only one mic, so that does that controlling there. Actually, okay, I think that's all that's in here. Sorry, it's been a little while since I've looked through these different ones. So you can really control the mics there. If you want to control the chat, you control it from the chat. I think things keep moving around. You can lock the group chat, unlock the direct chat. You can handle all of that there. Now, if it's only one student who's causing a problem, you can click on the settings next to that student. Okay, and you've got a bunch of choices here. I'm going to make myself an attendee instead of a presenter, so I've got a little bit more control over myself here. I can unlock the direct chat just for that student. Maybe I want to talk to that student individually. I can handle just that. I can kick only that student out of the group chat. If they're making inappropriate comments, I can lock just that person out and allow everybody else to continue to have the productive conversation that you're looking for. And I can unlock the whiteboard just for that student. If it's Johnny's turn and you want Johnny to write on the whiteboard, I can unlock it for one person at a time. Now, if I want to unlock it for everyone at a time, I'm going to use the controls on the whiteboard. See how it says unlock group whiteboard. So I'm hoping the pattern that you're seeing is that for every piece of Jigsaw, they call them the panes, right? The whiteboard pane, the attendee pane, the chat pane. You've got global tools in the upper left corner. Do this for everybody, lock this for everybody, turn this on for everybody. But then within each student, you can individually adjust who's doing what. And if they become too much of a problem, you can remove them from the session. And when you remove them from the session, you can write a reason, and you can keep them banned for 24 hours. Or you don't have to. Sometimes if a student is like lingering at the end of class and I can tell they've walked away from their computer, I'll just kick them out but not ban them because I'm just trying to close out the room. But you can put a note in here and say exactly what happened. Now, the whiteboard. Let me unlock this for everybody. There's only me, but I can unlock it for everybody. And then let's say that I am that student who's going to write big and obnoxious right in the middle of your whiteboard, or perhaps draw something, who knows what. I don't know who that is though. What I can do as the teacher is in the very bottom right corner, there's a little I, an info button. And so if I click on that info button and I make sure that I'm selecting using the little cursor, if I click on the thing that was drawn and look back at that info button, I can see exactly who and when drew that, and I can see if somebody updated it. So let's say that I wrote that and then somebody else changed the color or dragged it across the board or added to the picture. I can see who else has adjusted that as well. And then I can say, hey, Mindy 2, knock it off. This is your first warning. Now the other thing that's kind of nice about the whiteboard is you'll notice that separate from turning on the whiteboard or unlocking the whiteboard for everybody is the eraser. I can lock just the eraser so that students can add to it, but they can't erase anybody else's work. And then if I wanted to do that, I could unlock the eraser. I think, nope, I can only unlock and lock the whiteboard. I can't do the eraser individually, but if you just want to kind of keep that as a blanket off, that way students can't go through and erase. And that should help. Now, if you're using a PowerPoint, let's say you're writing on top of your PowerPoint, all the same things apply, except it's called annotations. So you can click on the arrow, turn on the annotations for yourself. I can unlock the eraser to make sure that that's available or not. And then now that the annotations are on next to each individual person, you'll see now there's an option to unlock the annotation. So I can let just myself write on there. So if I say hi again, this time I don't have that info tool. That's the only bummer about this, is you don't have, I mean, first of all, you can see you don't have nearly as many tools and I don't have as much control. So one other thing that I like to do, and then I'll let you go because I know this is getting kind of long, is I can take, if there's a particular slide that has a blank problem on it, let's see, this is my first week, so there's not a lot of blanks on here. Let's say this one, finding the slope of the line. I wanted students to be able to write on this, so I want to have more control. I can turn off the annotations here, and I get this little button that says copy to whiteboard. If I click that button, it will put it on the whiteboard. Then I can utilize the tools that the whiteboard has to be able to write and control and see who's doing what and turn on and turn off individually. So if you're going to have students do a lot of writing and you want them to write on your slides, I would probably do it this way. It only takes a quick second to copy it, because then you get those controls that we're all looking for. Anyway, I hope this helps. I know Jigsaw seems very, very overwhelming, but it does do some cool things like this that really I know a lot of us are looking for, especially if you have students who have a little bit of trouble staying engaged. So anyway, have a great week. I hope this helps. Bye.